Hi, welcome. My name is Brendan Lee, and I want to explain to you the components of contemplation. This request comes from another student and also from the idea that we are trying to get together a group of people that are doing dyads online. So this video is in support of those people who are contemplating online for themselves and need some help and guidance and some strong foundations in contemplation so that they can direct their own work. So the contemplation components, as I would do in a workshop, are thus presented. I get the poster out, and as what I do, I come up and say, okay, these are the contemplation components. 1, presence. 2, clarity. 3, possibility. 4, focus. 5, openness. 6, intent. Okay, so you've read the poster and we're good to go. So the purpose of the components is for you to check in with yourself while you're contemplating and just make sure that these are in action. Now, it's not the way it works is you don't have to do step 1, then step 2, then step 3, then step 4, then 5 and 6, etc. But it's more like the contemplation happens as a whole, and it can be useful at times to check in and see if you are utilizing these components or that they are in action for you while you're contemplating. So the components are as follows. So 1, presence. Presence, what does that mean? Present time. Now. Okay, that's presence. You're not contemplating for what was, and you're not contemplating for what you think might be. You're contemplating for what's true now. So simply present time. So it's useful to make sure that you are contemplating now in present time. 2, clarity. When you are working on, for example, you get clear. You get clear immediately about your subject matter. So if you're working on who am I, you might get the instruction experience, who you are, and communicate that to me. Then you get clear right away. Who am I? When I say who am I, what am I talking about immediately? Am I talking about an image? Am I talking about an object? Am I talking about my body? Am I talking about emotion? Or me? What's this me? Get clear right away. So that if, I were to threaten you with a pistol, who's the one who's about to die? Me. I'm clear. It's me. Now, you may go, so the clarity component can be a deepening component in the sense that you will be contemplating, and then whatever you think is most clear at that time, at some point you may realize in your attempts to be brutally honest and extremely forthright, you might get, what I thought was the case is no longer the case. It's more clear to me now. This is what's more clear. Then that's where you focus. For example, if using this metaphor, if you had a table and it was you're clear, this is a table, it's covered with a cloth and there's fruit on the table, it's covered with a cloth and there's bumps on the table, then you're clear that there's a cloth and bumps, but at some point you remove the cloth and realize there's a bunch of fruit on the table, then that's more clearly the case than the table with a cloth on it, with bumps, see? So then you're clear that's the case, and then you may find that something else is the case, and that's more clear, more true, more honest, and that's where you put your attention. Okay, so you get clear. You make sure your contemplation is clear. 3, possibility. The quick version of possibility is 1, if I'm working in a workshop setting, if you are here in the workshop, you already have that it's possible for you to have a direct consciousness or direct insight into the nature of reality, the nature of you, or whatever you're working on. It is possible. Otherwise, why be here? Let's go have a beer. If you're doing online dyads, again, I will use the same argument. The only reason you're in an online dyad itself is that you already think it's possible for you to become conscious. Otherwise, why are you doing it? Okay? If you really don't think it's possible, then go have a beer. Or ask yourself this question, could somebody have an enlightenment? The answer is yes, because it's already happened. Then you too can have an enlightenment. So it is possible. A story that Peter tells is that, sometimes he will see people contemplating in earnest for long periods of time without actually holding that it's possible that they can get enlightened now. And so it's useful to hold that as possible. If you're like, nah, that's impossible, then notice that you're saying that's impossible. So you're negating the possibility that is. So it's already possible. Okay, otherwise, beer. 4, focus. Focus. You stay with the problem. You stay on it. You stay focused. You don't let your mind wander. You don't go anywhere else. You stay with the problem. If it's who am I, you stay who am I. You're working on what am I, it's what am I. Whatever your question is, what is another, what is life, what is existence, you stay on the question. No wavering. You stay. It's very simple, not necessarily easy to do. You stay with the problem. You do not go anywhere else. If your mind wanders, bring it back. If your mind wanders, then you start to beat yourself up for your mind wandering. That is another form of your mind wandering. Just drop the whole thing. Get right back to the problem at hand. Okay, so focus. Stay focused. Stay with it. Simple, not necessarily easy. 5, openness. So in addition to being laser focused, you also hold that you're open. You could become enlightened anytime. You could have a direct consciousness anytime. You're open. You really allow yourself not to know what is the case. Who am I? No idea. I could be anything. You're open. So you're both focused and open at the same time. And I know they seem like they go in opposite directions, but you do that. How do you do that? You simply allow yourself not to know what is true. How do you do that? Be honest. Do you know what you are? Do you know what another is? Do you know who you are? If you don't know, like you can't say for sure, then you don't know. You can be open. Okay, so openness. So you're focused and open. And then the last one here, number 6, intent. Intent, like I will likely have said in a previous video or another video on my YouTube channel, which you can access on intent, it is the intent. In simple terms, it's the extreme desire to want to know. You really want to become conscious. You want to know. You will know, aka you are conscious now. And if you aren't conscious now, then you're now conscious. So you're not contemplating for some time later. You are intending to become conscious now, which is to say that you aren't saying, okay, I'm going to get enlightened later. No, now, what's true now? You really want to know. You intend to know immediately. Okay, that's intent. And I tell a story like looking out and seeing a wild tiger and noticing the raw intent behind the eyes, and it scared the crap out of me because I knew that if that tiger wanted to do something, it would. Boom, it was not held back in any way. So you have intent, which is to say a massive desire to really genuinely want to know the truth. You intend to become conscious now, and you open up. Okay? So that's a brief run through of the contemplation components. And again, to reiterate, it's not like you go, okay, do I need to do step 1, get present, step 2, clarity, step 3, possibility. No, it's all at once. Boom, you're contemplating. And at some point, it can be useful to check in with yourself about these components. Like, oh, I'm going along and then I realize, oh crap, I'm not actually very clear. All right, who am I really? Like, let's get clear, and then go back to it, move on, keep going. Same with all these others. It's useful to check in. Am I focused? No, my mind's wandering. Okay, focus more. Am I open enough? No, I don't seem to be open enough. Okay, open up. All right, focus and open. Okay, am I really intending? Do I really want to know? Yes. Okay, good. Then boom, just continue. Until you attain enlightenment or have a breakthrough, an increase in consciousness or an insight or whatever you're looking for with your contemplation. Okay, so I hope that's been useful regarding the contemplation components. I tried to keep it short for this video, and good luck with all of your work. Please feel free to write me or contact me if you have any other questions, and take care.